Cam, I called you this weekend. We talked a bit about this whole BYU situation. And I do want to cover the theory of, they said ref's a Mormon. I've listened to it. I'm not hearing ref's a Mormon.
I didn't.
Typically, you wouldn't yell ref's a Catholic or ref's a Jew or ref's a Mormon. And the head coach, Kevin Young, and his players were very confident in venue, too. They heard F the Mormons. And you and I talked about it. I was like, Kim, and I even asked you, I was like, can I be frank that you aren't inherently religious, don't consider yourself to be a super religious person, have that background, though, but that you still had a reaction to this, that you still thought, like, yeah, as somebody who's not necessarily actively practicing every day, like, this sucks. Like, an avenue for hate in the Big 12. It happened in the Cincinnati football game, and the conference doing nothing. This is less of, and for the Oklahoma State fans who are like, they said Big Eugene apologize. They said ref's a Mormon. Like, I'm not mad at Oklahoma State. I'm not mad at the 20-year-old kid who's yelling this because his friend next to him's yelling this. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at the governing body of the Big 12 Conference for not putting a stop to religious hate, to discrimination of any kind in this league.
Yeah, I'm actually exactly with you in that boat. And we didn't talk about this on the phone call, who to blame kind of thing. We were just like, man, this is dumb. This is bad. Don't like this. And I don't like it because I'm an American. Okay. Because I'm American. Damn it. And like that stinks. And it's funny.
Honor code violation. Darn it.
Yeah. Darn it. Dang it. Pete Souza was talking about this. Pete Souza was talking about this week too. And we both kind of had the same thought of like, look, did I say some dumb stuff in college? Absolutely. And if this had happened, like if I was at the Bear Pit and this chant started, would I have had the morality to not do it? I don't know. If I was 20, I don't know.
Yeah, and remember, keep in mind, by the way, at that point in time, and you and I we were friends when I was 20 and in college, I didn't know BYU. I had no context of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was ignorant, right? So if I hear F the Mormons, I'd be like, all right, whatever, I'm just joining in. The rest of everybody else saying it, like, cool, yeah, I get to say a dirty word. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this is ignorance at its core, for sure.
And it's just it's lame, dude. It's just lame, man. It like all the way around. Like there's just no real place for it. There's no need for it. You're not as cool and as gotcha as you think you are when you're doing it. It doesn't reflect well on literally anybody. It's just lame. Is that a good word for it? It's lame. It's messed up, which is 2 words, but 1 word, it's lame.
Why is the Big 12, as of the time of recording, why has the Big 12 not responded to this?
I do find this part interesting of why doesn't the Big 12 do something, especially a Big 12 that was nearly blocked for having religious schools. What I mean by that is we remember before the implosion of the Pac-12, it looked like it was going to be the implosion of the Big 12. And there's going to be a lot of schools that were going to basically, audition for the Pac-12. And there was already rumors coming out, that the Pac-12 with kind of their leanings, we're not going to accept Christian schools like Baylor and TCU. And so you'd think that, the part of the country that we're in, the fan bases that we have in this conference, we would kind of lean into that. And instead, it's like, well, it's our religions that you can't do. Obviously, BYU would never do this, but, if Baylor went up there or honestly, a lot of teams in the Big 12, but Baylor's the Baptist school and started doing F the Baptists, that's not cool. It's not cool the other way either, man. It's just, and so I don't understand why the Big 12 doesn't do that. But God forbid, you storm the field or you storm the court, right? Then you're going to get fined. It's going to happen. And, your AD will gladly pay it, but you are going to get fined for that. But not for doing this. It's totally within the realms of I don't know, the Big 12's responsibility to make this, I don't love using like, it's a safe place for them to play because they're not, getting assaulted or anything, but a comfortable place to play in the like spirit of sportsmanship kind of way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying at that? I ask you that every time we're on. I'm like, do you know what I'm saying there? I said a lot of things.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to go to any sort of sporting event and think, will my religion, will my race,
that's what I was,
will my, like if we all said F the Nigerians, like what? What do they do? Like why, if I'm from Nigeria and I'm a basketball player at Baylor or BYU or Oklahoma State, why F me? What? That's where that's where I'm like, hey, if we flip this around to somebody else or any other group of people, it's a huge issue and the Big 12 immediately reacts. But with this, like that, whatever, it'll go away. Like it won't go away. There was a shooting at a church, right? A mass shooting at an LDS facility. So not only A, should you be scared to go to church or scared to go to a public place because you believe one thing in as your religion. And number two, the other side of this is you should, if you continue to foster this, it's only going to foster further violence and hate because we're saying, oh yeah, we allow that. Literally, Cam, the Big 12 just said, we allow that. You can do that.
That's what they're saying by not doing anything.
Yes.
And what's more, what just sucks more about this is how many times have we had this discussion? Just in the time that they've been in the Big 12. And like BYU's had that for a long time. Their fans will tell you that. But just since they've been in the Big 12, we've had this a handful of times.
Yeah.
When they do have a conference that can step in and stop this, or at least make it, punishable. Because then once you do that, once you threaten them even with money, I know these universities are really rich and they can afford it, but once you threaten them with money, then maybe security does take a step up and those chants don't get started in the first place.
Or a penalty. Threaten them with, hey, students, if you yell this, you've got, this is a flagrant 2. If you yell this, it's a 15-yard penalty. Like, it's super simple to do that and eradicate because you would get that.
That's
officials would step in and do that if you were saying F the Baptists or F the white people.
I like the second one you did there kind of leads me to my next point of like, you're doing that at Oklahoma State. There are Mormons that go to Oklahoma State.
100% in Stillwater.
There are Mormons that go to Baylor, even though it's a Baptist school.
Correct.
There are Mormons
I knew multiple.
Kansas State. Like they're not just in this school. They're among you. They look like you and me. You know what I mean? I mean, they're all over the place. So it's just dumb. It's lame, man. I'm sorry. And this is not one of those things like you become an old man about. Like you might be a 20-year-old chanting that. By the time you're 23, you're like, that was dumb. I'm glad we didn't get in trouble for that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Where I'll leave this to, there are like, if you yelled, I'm trying to think, there was a name for,
by the way, you could be later that night feeling guilty about it. You don't need to be 23.
Manson, Charles Manson. There was a name for his cult. If you yelled whatever the name of the cult was, like,
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, F the Manson family. Yeah, I can get behind that. Like, yeah,
we're talking about a concentrated group doing violent crimes. Yeah,
correct. Yes. That's where if you said, "Hey,"
no, I don't want to punish them for that. Yeah.
That's where, to me, I am so pro Joe Paterno not being in any Hall of Fame. Why? Because for decades, one of his top assistants was molesting young boys, ruining people's lives. And Paterno said, he's my buddy.
He's up a good defense.
So for me, it's like, okay, you don't deserve anything good now. And your name should be tarnished forever because you watched a guy molest young children. We can yell F Joe Paterno. We can yell F the Manson family. Like there are certain things I guess. So when I say like, oh, I don't think any idea should be attacked. No. There are some ideas that objectively, like we can say, in as a collective whole,
right? Hey,
don't like that thing,
Which does say that there's not a hard line. I think we would admit that there is no hard line of like you can't cross. It's kind of when you see it kind of thing.
100%. That's what
we're talking about. A very broad population here.
Yep, in a clear like, oh, you're yelling that out of ignorance, not because they're doing something to you. Like, hey, F the Tutsis. I think Rwanda genocide. I think it was the Tutsis. Mm-hmm. You're like. Sure, and maybe they're the bad guys, the good guys. I don't know, but yeah, pick a terrible thing in history. Be like, what?
Right, but we all agree. But if it's 2004 and Baylor's playing at Oklahoma State, F Dave Bliss.
I mean, yeah, all right. You know what?
Carlton Dotson.
Dog, F Baylor, right? Or F BYU. You can do that. It's when you take it into
that's harsh, but it's not. I don't think that's crossing a line. That's
sure. It's when you take it into this is my religion, my belief, and I'm not harming you. I'm not.
By the way, I mean, West Virginia fans with no means no chants at the Baylor basketball team in 2016, 2017. They didn't get fined, and I don't know that they should. I think it's stupid. I think it's kind of tasteless. But I what are you going to do? This is attacking a population because of their faith in this country. That's tough for me to take.
Yeah. You know what? This was actually a way better conversation than I thought it would be. Not that I thought it would be bad, but we touched on new things that I didn't get to when I have talked about it on my show over the course of the last few days. I'm glad we did. If you're a BYU fan, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a Utah fan or a West Virginia fan, share this with your friends. This was good.
And this is huge for my show because tomorrow they come back to Waco. Rob Wright comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, that's where it's like, I'll say F. Rob
Wright. Yeah, man.
Classless, I do.
Bring it on.
But I don't think that is crazy. I think F the Mormons is crazy. So don't do that. You know what I mean?
Doesn't display the love of Christ, but you know what? If you want to do that, I think you should. I think you should get reprimanded for a kind of a different fundamental reason. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, don't worry. Yeah. It's in that HBO documentary.
I don't think that'll happen either.
It's in the HBO documentary about Dave Bliss, the Baylor situation. It's a George Jones song with Tammy Wynette. God's gonna get you for that. God's gonna get you for that. But yeah, you can yell F Rob Wright, but God's gonna get you. The day will come. Your day of reckoning's there. That's Cameron Stewart at Real Cam Stewart on Twitter and all across social media. He was at the Super Bowl last week. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thank you for making our shows your first listen every single day. Crossover with Baylor and Dose Grande.